How's it going, guys? I'm Connor from Running Warehouse, and I'm here with Grace. Today, we are going to be taking a first look at the New Balance Fresh Foam X More Trail V3. Now, the More V4 came out not too long ago. It was my favorite max cushion shoe of the year. Now we see a lot of those similar philosophies trickle on over into the trail side. Really exciting shoe. What are your first thoughts?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I really like a lot of cushion in my trail shoes. I think it'll just be very versatile and really great for long distances.
Yeah, and a lot to talk about with this shoe, but I think what got me excited about the road side was that midsole compound, and we're still seeing that same design. We've got about 40 millimeters in the heel, so a lot of stack height to go those longer distances, and we still have that Fresh Foam X compound that's gonna be really soft, has that little bit of bounce, really a fun compound to run in.
Yeah, from the initial feel in your hand, it just feels really soft, and you can just tell it's gonna take a lot of that impact off your legs to go that distance.
And another thing I really liked about the road counterpart was the geometry of the midsole. It had a really smooth ride, and that was something that I took it out on some trails. It didn't quite have the grip, but it had just this nice platform that could kind of just monster truck over a lot of different terrain. Let's move on down to the outsole, because that's where that grip's gonna come into play. What do you think here? Is this gonna have the traction to handle some more technical terrain?
Yeah, I mean, this outsole, the Vibram, I always am a really big fan. Anytime a brand uses this outsole, it grips really well. And one thing that stood out to me was the traction lugs. I saw this when I was testing the Hoka Mafate Speed 4, and I didn't think it was gonna make much of a difference, but it made a huge difference in just the way it gripped on all those different varieties of terrain.
And with a shoe this high of a stack height, you always wonder, is it gonna actually be able to perform on some more technical trails? And I think part of what made the More V4 stable on the roads was that wide platform. You still see it here in the trail version, so I think that is gonna be able to handle on some uneven terrain. Gonna have to test it out a little bit more to see how technical it can go, but I've got pretty good feelings that this one's gonna really rip it.
Yeah, and that was something I'm a little curious about too, but it does look like it has a pretty wide base to it, so I think it'll be pretty stable, but yeah, you'll definitely have to kind of test it out to see, so I'm really excited.
Now, finishing this shoe off, we're gonna still have a very similar upper design. It's got those trail-specific features. We've got some overlays that kind of go through the lateral side, really kind of have that extra protection in high wear areas. I did find that the More V4 had a little bit more volume in the upper fit, so I think it's gonna be very similar here with the trail. If you maybe have a little bit wider foot or just like that extra volume in the toe box, should fit well. I do think that this trail version now has a little bit more structure in the upper, so it is gonna provide a little bit more stable experience and provide a little bit better lockdown, especially for that high platform.
Yeah, I think the upper is very simple, but I think just the little elements it has protecting the toe and a little bit more supportive in the heel really makes it stand out from the More V4.
Yeah, you know, again, the More V4 was my favorite shoe on the road. Now that we've got a more trail-specific version, I am excited to try it on a lot of different varied terrain. I think the real question is, how technical can you take this? And what do you think you're mainly gonna use this shoe for?
I think because of the outsole, it would do really well on like even some pretty technical terrain. When I first saw this shoe, I immediately thought of like the Backbone Trail or the High Sierra Trail. They're both pretty rocky and you can just go forever on them. And I think this is just perfect for long distance technical trails.
Yeah, and I'm not doing too technical of terrain, but just for my long runs, anything where I'm taking it out on fire roads, I think because of the design, it probably still worked pretty well on some road to trail use. I think I'll probably use this fairly similar to what I use maybe like a Hoka Speed Goat for, but it's gonna have that little bit extra protection. So really, shoe I'm excited for, and now we're just gonna have to wait for it to come out to get in those miles.
Yeah, I'm training for 100K currently, and I think this will be a really great shoe to start training in, and it will be a really great one to add to my rotation.
Yeah, I agree. And for the people at home, if you're looking to get the New Balance More Trail V3 on your feet, it'll be available in spring 2023 here at Running Warehouse.